Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I'm going to be doing a quick non-spoilery review of Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I'm just going to make this really short and sweet and non-spoilery because this is such a new release and it's such a short book and I just want everyone to read it. I read this practically in one day. I read the first 20 pages one night and then the rest I read the next day. I love this. This is 100% the best book that I read this year in 2020 and I want everyone to read it. The title, Piranesi, it comes from Giovanni Piranesi, who is an Italian classical archaeologist, architect and artist. I would advise you not to look up him before reading this, unless you already maybe know a bit about him, because when you read more about where the name comes from and why it was based on that, it might give you a clue for the book, and I would rather you didn't have that. So this follows a man called Piranesi, and he is in this place that he calls the house, and it is full of it's just amazing. It's like massive rooms that are like 100 feet long and 50 feet wide, every room, and think like Roman architecture, and every room has statues. So there's statues of everyday people doing everyday activities. There's statues of like minotaurs and fauns and giants and animals and people doing on all manner of things, and every single room is full of these statues. There's also 3 floors in this house, and the ground floor is like flooded, which is where you can go to get fish and things to eat, and then the top floor is filled with clouds. So you can imagine the workings of this world and the way they are. Piranesi is also a character who derives great joy from the house, and it's all about self-reflection and self-discovery, and his whole existence is tied up in him finding comfort and joy within this house, and him feeling content about being there and his place in this world. He spends his days going from room to room, statue to statue, documenting it and writing about it. Piranesi is the only person in this world, except from one other person, who is called the Other. Now this other, Piranesi describes very vividly every time he sees him what clothes he was wearing. And apart from the house providing things for Piranesi, this other person provides things for him that he might need. And I think that's all I want to say in terms of what's going on. It's a very short book. It's 245 pages long. It's such an interesting story. You don't really quite see where it's going, and I loved every aspect of this. The imagery was beautiful. I could imagine myself being there. I love Piranesi as a character. He just had some really great values, and although he comes across as very innocent, it's innocence in a term of him just not knowing more than that, but it's not stupidity, it's more like a naivety and a lack of information. And you being with Piranesi and you going on this journey with him as he learns more about the house and he learns more about the Other and about why he's there and where is there, it's just such a beautiful story. Obviously still no spoilers, but I really enjoyed the whole arc of this story. I loved the beginning, the middle and the end, and I really enjoyed the end. Maybe some people wouldn't be satisfied by it, but I just thought it was a very perfect ending for the story, and I really enjoyed it. I also liked the format of the story. It's told in a it is told in diary format. So Piranesi is like a scholar. He spends his time going from room to room and documenting each room and documenting each statue and documenting the phases of the moon and everything. And he writes about it in his diary. And obviously our traditional calendar doesn't work in this place because it's not of this world. So I'll just read you the first one, like his first diary entry, in terms of, instead of saying like November the 29th of 2020, he's written, when the moon rose in the third northern hall, I went to the ninth vestibule. And then, so that's him doing his diary entry. And then his marking of like the time of year is entry for the first day of the 5th month in the year the albatross came to the southwestern halls. It is just such a unique way of doing it. And obviously throughout the book you learn more about why it's like that. But it just adds a little personal touch. And when Piranesi explains why he's named this year the year the albatross came to the hall, everything about this was so intentional, and it's such a short book, and I think Susanna Clarke used every word beautifully. And I'm just going to keep gushing about this book because it was excellent and I think you should read it. It's also a beautiful little hardback. I love little small hardbacks like this because I'm more of a paperback person. But just how beautiful is the typesetting and this phone on the plinth, and it's just beautiful, and it's lovely under the dust jacket as well. Like the hardback is just beautiful, and the end pages are beautiful. Everything about this book is lovely, and I think you should read it. Also another thing that I really loved was, maybe this would be a spoiler, so I'll put a timestamp to skip ahead if you don't want maybe this spoiler, but I loved that there's a quote / very, very minute reference to Doctor Who in here. I think they use the word like timey-wimey, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And when I read that, I knew it was a direct reference to Doctor Who, and I loved it, and I thought it was really, really funny. And obviously there's references to other things as well, but the Doctor Who one stood out for me. Overall, I loved this. I loved the different characters in this world. I loved following Piranesi and his adventure of discovery with what's going on. Why he's there, why he's in this house, why is he looking after this house. And I loved the functionality of the house, like the fact that, like tides and seasons, it floods, things like that. I just loved learning more about this, and it was beautiful. I loved it. Please, 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 please read this book. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this, what you thought of it. Please tell me you loved it if you have read it. Let me know if you're interested in reading it. It's 245 pages long. Such a quick read. I loved it. This will definitely be my favourite book of the year, because there's only like 6 weeks left to the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to read another book that's a favourite. But yeah. And as always, be sure to like and comment on this video, and subscribe if you aren't already. I've just hit 150 subscribers, and that's so exciting. And I'm coming up to 1 year here on YouTube, and it's not going to happen before the end of the year, but it'd be amazing if I could reach 200 subscribers. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.